Hello, Factorio people. Fenton here with Factorio OVEREXPLAINED, episode whatever number this is, 14. I said that I would quickly set up some engine units off camera, and I have. The math is 10 assemblers making engine units for the amount of science that we're going to try and make, and you can see here that iron gear wheels are keeping up. I think iron gear wheels are overproduced by one machine, whereas pipes are exactly produced. Even the very last machine is getting the pipes. It's got another one there ready to go. Two should get all the way to the end before this recipe finishes. It should be one of these. There it is. Just about gets in. It is exactly at ratio 1 assembly machine. And this is just being fed by iron, and then I take a line of steel off, so that's making the engines. The sulfur and the advanced circuits we did last time. And there's your blue science. And it's 12. It's 12. I'm doing them in a line as opposed to this mirrored design here. It doesn't really matter, that's why. Should probably just copy and paste this just to 4, 6, 8, 10. The tree in the way. 10, 12. Right, there we go. Let me just fill this in for you while I talk about what's going on. Right, so we're going to have everything sorted that we need to get all of the blue science researchers going. That is going to then require some rejigging of this base slightly to get advanced oil processing done, so that we can then... How far does this need to go? That far. So that we can then get everything we need to get robots sorted. And robots is obviously the big milestone that we want to hit. The game will change significantly with that advancement. So let's continue the spaghetti here, shall we? Now the belt is here and our labs are up here. We put our belt in ready. This is kind of going to be a bit awkward because, I mean, I've used this space for red circuits where I'm going to need some extra space here for advanced oil processing, but I should, in theory, be able to just use this space. I'm not going to need a huge amount of space for it. Worst case scenario is I bring these pipes over here and I end up building advanced oil processing here, but I've not planned extremely well, to be honest with you. This is not the best way to do this. Which is funny, considering I had all the time in the world to think about it. I'm deliberately going as slow as humanly possible. I mean, the mere fact that I'm even... Look at this, like, what excellent timing that was. Right. Robots. Robotics. Construction robots for sure. Personal roboports, definitely. Right, so we need... Advanced oil processing is just going to be the first thing that we do, basically. We won't have to go and get anything else done. We can do advanced oil processing with everything we have. But it will change this design significantly. And it's quite complicated, especially to get it all going exactly as you want, and making sure you have lubricant as a byproduct of that, which we'll need for electric engine units, which we will need for robot frames, which we'll need to make robots. But the other thing that we need to be careful of here is that now that we're making every single science pack that we can, that's going to put quite a strain on all of the assembly machines we've got going. Because suddenly green circuits will be in demand by quite a lot, because the green circuits need to go in here for green science, and they need to go in here for red circuits, which need to go for blue science. So suddenly the whole factory is going to start kicking off again, like everything. Iron plates are going to start being used a bit more frequently. All the stone, did the stone even last? I remember we set this stone thing up here ages ago and just left it going, and now suddenly all of these are completely full of stone bricks and raw stone. So that's good. That's at least working as intended. This iron ore is down to 138,000 with the top completely gone. Copper, the coal is still fine, the copper is still fine. So hopefully this will all work out just about in time. What's not working about this? How did these get all the way over here before this being... It's because it was in a big line, wasn't it? So the blue science that was coming along here, the red-handed inserter, like, picked these up, but then these carried on moving along. So once this backlog is gone, you shouldn't see that as much. I think this is too many labs for the amount of blue science that we're making, but it's fine. It'll be interesting to see if the rest of the factory can keep up with this much blue science, but engine units are fine. Still, pipes are fine, they're getting all the way to the end. A good way to do this, especially if you kick, hooray, advanced oil processing done, lubricant next, please. A good way to see that everything is working, especially if you kick a build off like this all at once, is to look at this product finish stat over here. So the very first one in the line is 37, the very last one in the line is 30. If, like, this is on 0, then you've obviously got a problem. The fact that this is on 38 and this is on 30 does imply that there is a bit of an issue, but that's only because the pipe machine is running exactly at ratio, like this, they've gone in here, then they've gone in here, then they've gone in here, then they've gone in here, but then this one will have needed more. So it takes a while for everything to permeate down, for everything to be actually full, because as we know, an assembly machine will take as many entities to be ready to build the next 2 or 3. I think it's 2. I think it's literally 2. I mean, this is taken up to 5 pipes, and that'll be because our inserters can also pick up 2 things at once now. Here, if we click an inserter, we can see that the stack size is 2. We can overwrite that. It doesn't really make any difference. It's still going to pick them up. There's very few reasons you'd want to limit the stack size of an inserter. It does happen. Oh, that was lubricant done. That was very quick. What's next in the path to robots? Let's do electric engines, because then we can do power armor and maybe start talking about modular armor. And we're going to need electric engine units for robots anyway, so let's just kick that off. And get ready to do advanced oil processing, I suppose, for which we will need some more science labs. And I will also turn off the input of crude oil so that I don't waste any crude oil. If I were to just pick this up and delete it, because it's a fluid, it just doesn't go anywhere, it just disappears. It tries to output it into the pipes, I believe. It tries to shift it out of the machine into any pipes. If the pipes are full, then it just disappears, it just goes to waste. Right, give me some more chemical plants, and let me go and get some of these bricks that we've had stockpiled up here so that I can build some more ore refineries just in case. This would be a very good example of, so we can see here, products finished for this very bottom stone furnace is only 101 copper, but that's because this only ever outputs if the entire belt up to that point is empty, which is only true if we're using in more than a belt of copper, whereas the top one will obviously be able to output even when the copper demand is very low, which is why its products finished is 6,004. I mean, even this one on the left hand side is only 2,000, so that must mean we're drawing from the left hand side of the belt, the right hand side of the belt in direction of travel a lot more. And that's because we're taking from the inside of the belt for these copper wires, basically, to over-explain that interaction. Right, robotics. Robot frame needs steel plates, batteries, electronic circuits, electric engine units. We've never made a battery and we've never made an electronic engine unit. A battery needs sulfuric acid. Where are you, batteries? There you go. Sulfuric acid, which needs sulfur and iron plates, which we can do. But we can't do electric engine units because we don't have lubricant. We don't have lubricant because we don't have heavy oil. What the frickin' hell is heavy oil? Did I take any stone bricks? I got distracted, didn't I, by over-explaining things. I'm not taking any stone bricks. Check I'm not muted. Take 300 stone bricks. Gonna be more than enough. While I'm here, I'm just gonna upgrade my... that's not the best way to do that. Upgrade my green circuit production to assembly machine Mark IIs, just to speed this up ever so slightly. Kind of tempted to sideload these as well, just so that this half goes on this side of the belt, so that these aren't completely slowed down, but I feel like we're going to start catching up on green circuit production soon. I'll be surprised if that manages to stay backed up, but it might, you know, it might. Right, I didn't put these lights down. I copied and pasted them and then didn't put them down, which might also be the case here. Yeah, it is. I wondered why everything was looking a bit dark. Even with the Afraid of the Dark mod on, everything's looking a bit dark. Robotics finished already? Alright, okay. It's on lab research speed. Go. Speed up. Okay. I do actually have 6 oil refineries on me, so I don't really know why I went to all this effort. But you know what? Give me some more. Doesn't matter. Are you all finished? Yes, you're all done. There is going to be some oil backed up here. So if I delete this one, if I delete all of the empty ones first, actually. This one has 50.8 crude oil left into it. If I delete this, that should go into the pipes, which it did. So the 50 has gone into the pipes. These are all full. Now, you know what? I'm just going to waste it. I'm just going to waste it. Because our oil refineries... we need to rejig this all ever so slightly. If I get rid of this, is that all of the power for that side? No. Good. And then there's a gas tank here full of... storage tank here full of petroleum gas. So this plastic will keep going. So will the sulfur. So that's good. We need to rethink our oil production. And that's why I didn't worry about doing that, because I knew it would be going. Calculated. Although that one, whoops, that one probably can stay. How is power actually now that most things are working? We're consuming about half of our possible demand. Right, advanced oil processing. Hooray, we're going to get there eventually. It's an oil refinery. But now we've got the advanced oil processing option. So this takes water and crude oil in, but makes heavy oil and light oil and petroleum gas. So it's already better to do this, because the petroleum gas output is 55 per 100 crude oil, compared to this side, which is 45 per 100. So it's already more efficient. Moreover, there exist recipes to crack heavy oil into light oil, and then the light oil into petroleum. So not only can you turn crude oil into 55 petroleum, 25... let me just write this down, because I can't do more than... where's my pen? This is good. This is good YouTube content. I don't know where my pen is. 55 petroleum, 45 light oil, and 25 heavy oil. You can turn 30 light oil into 20 petroleum, so you're already getting... what was it? 30 light oil. So you're already getting 1.5 lots of that per advanced oil processing craft, which is another 30 petroleum gas. And then 40 heavy oil into 30 light oil, so then you're also getting 15, 40, slightly less than half, 3/8 You're also getting 3/8. What is that? Is it 3.75? That's 0.375. Yes. So you're also getting 1.375 lots of this craft, which is 30 and 3/8 of that, into light oil, which then turns into petroleum gas. So it's extremely efficient in terms of turning petroleum into crude oil. But then you also can use the heavy oil to turn into lubricant. You can use the light oil to turn into fuel. Light oil is the most efficient use of, most efficient way to get solid fuel. You can turn petroleum and heavy oil into solid fuel, but the numbers on it don't work as much as light oil. You're better off cracking heavy oil and using the light oil to make solid fuel, but we'll get into solid fuel when we need to. But light oil also goes into rocket fuel, which we have yet to research. But rocket fuel is very good for powering trains, and obviously you need to put it in the rocket, which is the end goal. So, all that being said, go over to advanced oil processing basically as soon as you can. As soon as you can, basically. And we don't need a huge amount of it, but we're definitely going to need some, and I'm just wondering exactly where I'm going to plonk this down now, because let's go. I could go this way, I suppose, because you need a row of, if you imagine planning this out, you need a row of advanced oil processing happening. Then you need some space to turn the heavy oil into light oil, some of that heavy oil into lubricant, which can also happen here, then the light oil that outputs from both this area. Let me do yellow for, let me do pink for heavy oil. Heavy oil processing can go here, light oil processing can go here, so then your light oil that comes out of this build needs to go here, the heavy oil that comes out of this needs to go here, and then the light oil that comes out of this can also go into here, so that then you've got one final row here turning your light oil into petroleum. So then your petroleum that comes out of this can also go here with this. It's very difficult, as you can see, and then just some extra lubricant from this heavy oil production. It's complicated. It is complicated. And this is definitely a bottleneck that I had in the game for quite some time. Let's do insert capacity bonus. No, let's do the next lab research speed. I didn't see you were down there. Cheeky. Cheeky. Let's put, I mean, I could put the oil refineries here and use undergrounds to jump over, but I don't think I have quite enough space for that. What about if I moved this belt somewhere a bit more sensible? Because, I mean, this is kind of taking up a lot of space, isn't it? You know what? We don't need that much space. We don't need as much space as I'm talking about, really. As long as we've got... We need to bring water in as well. Let's not forget that we need to bring water in. Got a tiny little bit of water down there, which I can use, and I probably will. Alright, okay. Let's start from down here, then. If this is where the water's going to come in. We'll start from down here. This is an absolute nightmare, and I can't really tell you what I was thinking. Pipes, going to need a lot of pipes with this as well. As we explored before, you can get your inputs in like this, and this will tile as well. You can't have your refineries right next to each other, because then you run to the problem where how are you going to get these outputs separately out like this, because you can't have rows of pipes next to each other without them deciding they're going to interact. So you're better off having a one space gap like this, but then your undergrounds can reach that far. So, and we'll go with 8. I believe someone a lot smarter than me, possibly even a computer, not that a computer is the only thing smarter than me, has done the numbers on this, and it's 8 oil refineries is a nice number for, how many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 oil refineries. Gives you a nice number to then do a couple of heavy oil cracking machines and 7, I believe. I should have done this enough now to know that. I will just double check that for you, because I can only play and capture this by doing display capture because of how this needs to work. I can't just quickly Alt tab away, so without you seeing like every single thing happening on my computer, which is obviously not what I'm in for right now. This will be one of the last annoying builds that we have to do by hand, thankfully. Because man, putting pipes down manually is kinda laborious. This is the easy bit, because we also need to output everything. So doing it like this, of course, means that all of your crude oil can go here and it's not interrupted by the water pipes, and all of the water pipes can be here and they're not getting in the way of anything else either. That does mean we need to change this ever so slightly. But I'm not going to do that, because as we know, if I have to delete these pipes because I've done it wrong, I'm going to lose it all. But I can do it for the water, because obviously water is infinite even in a small little bit like this. Don't have a water pump on me, do I? Where are they? There. No, I don't. I'll just quickly build one by hand. Still handcrafting, like a boss, like an absolute boss. Water. Thank you. Click and drag to make my water pipes go in the most efficient way possible, and do this to do a little turn. And don't forget this very last one here, which is actually the first one. Right, water's in. We're going to need water for the other processes as well, so the water will have to also come this way as well as going this way, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Outputs. Outputs are the same principle as the inputs. If you do a 1 and then a 2 and then a 3, and then your undergrounds, they are all, then you can connect everything to everything else without anything interrupting. So sorry, let me get to that. I think the reason why this is such a bottleneck is because of its complexity compared with anything else that you've built so far, and because I'm going to go and pick up some more pipes, and because fluids behave differently to items on a belt, it all becomes a bit much. And if this is something that you have struggled with, then it's a real shame that doing this is like the last tedious thing that you have to do, if you can call it tedious. But I suppose in a way it's like the exam, right? It's like the... If you can do this, then yeah, you've proved that you can just let robots deal with the rest of it. So even from up here, all of our crude oil we can access from this pipe, all of our light oil we can access from a pipe that goes here, and all of our heavy oil we can access from a pipe that goes here. Or even our heavy oil can come out there, and our light oil can come out there, and our petroleum can come out there, because even this space here and this space here, because these are underground pipes, they won't get in the way of anything that we want to do. So I mean, if we could do pump, 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 and that is our 3 outputs: crude, light, heavy. So then if we imagine the hierarchy as we did before, crude oil turns into petroleum, which I did for as red for some reason. Light oil, heavy oil. You can turn light into petroleum, and you can turn heavy into light, like this. You can also turn heavy into lubricant with a green. Lubricant doesn't go anywhere else, it just does that. Um, so, as a result of that, you want to prioritize this section first. You want to make sure this gets done, because this is the only way you'll get lubricant. So you want to turn heavy oil into lubricant first, and then once you've got enough lubricant, you can then say, right, now all of the heavy oil can go into light oil. And this is the problem, is that you can't just say, right, well, I'll hook the petroleum up, and then at least that's the petroleum done. Here, you can't just connect this to this and go, right, I'll deal with these later, because all of your oil processing units are going to get backed up with the light and the heavy oil. Sure, all the petroleum will come out, but it won't then do any more crafts, because it's like, well, I haven't got space to output the heavy oil and the light oil. So you have to deal with all three things at once, properly, to get any of it working. And that is the issue, I think, for my money. Right, we can tidy some of this up as well. We don't need these underground pipes going up there, because we've decided the outputs are going to come up this way. So we have to deal with heavy oil first. So, heavy oil into lubricant, thankfully, is very easy. It's just heavy oil in, lubricant out. So we can do that with some pipes. And we'll do 3. It doesn't really matter what the numbers are, you just need to process enough. 10 heavy oil in 1 second makes 10 lubricant. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. This is going to make 25 heavy oil in 5 seconds. That's 5 per second. 8 times is 40. This is going to then consume 30 per second. So I'll add the 4th one just because. And then a line output of the lubricant into a... Oh, do I have any of these? Do I have these in the mall? In the hub? In the HQ? I don't. They're only steel and iron plates, so whatever, just make some by hand. It really doesn't make that much of a difference. There you go. They'll be ticking away. This is also a very good time to refresh your memory on the circuit network and how you can get certain things to work based on the conditions of other things. And a storage tank is one of those things, thankfully. Storage tank... let's put the storage tank up here, because... What am I going to need the lubricant for? Wow, that only just finished lab research speed. That's a bit slower, isn't it? What else would be helpful here? Substations. More power supply methods. That would be quite useful. Actually, I'll just do the robots now. I better do it. A flying robot frame is electric engine units. Electric engine units is engine units, electronic circuits, and lubricant. So... I suppose I could stockpile electronic engine units somewhere. I mean, it would have made more sense to build more than this. Oh, I've actually exceeded the range of the only radar that we have in the base. So let's put another radar down. So when you're putting your second radar down, you can see up here the light blue square is what's already covered by a radar. This slightly darker blue square is the range of the new radar that you're putting down. So as I move this radar around the map, you can see. I mean, I'm obviously not going to be able to place it down here because I can't reach, but it's a good idea to at least try and make it. They're so power hungry, you see, that you don't want. That's fine though, to be fair. Right, now I can actually see. Power is still okay for now. But I have run out of all of that petroleum. What was I saying? Right, yeah, no, I was saying that probably would have made more sense to have more engine units being made here so that a surplus of them could go to make electric engine units with some electronic circuits and this lubricant. But it's going to be easy enough to double this up. I'll need another pipe machine, of course, so that's fine. I'm not worried about that. So let's put the lubricant here. Yeah, no, that is fine. And I'll put a pump there like this. This doesn't matter that this pump is blocking this output, because one of the outputs from this is already satisfied. I was going to talk about the circuit network here, but I don't really think it's that relevant, because not worker, cargo size, logistics robots. Thank you. I don't think it's that relevant, but because these machines are first in the queue, they're going to get all the heavy oil anyway. So really, all I'm going to do is just build a couple more here. Literally a couple more. Because they take so much heavy oil and they're so fast that you don't really need more than 2. I'm pretty sure it's 8 to 7. I did say I would look it up, so let's look it up. The website is factoriocheatsheet.com, and it's very handy. But again, it's not over-explained, it's just here's the ratio, and it doesn't go into why or how. So I haven't mentioned it until now. But it is, of course, full of nice things like this that I forget the numbers on. 8, 2, and 7. I was correct. So there we go. Alright, so 2 heavy oil machines need heavy oil in, which we have here, and some water, which will get sorted here. And obviously, in retrospect, whoops, I don't need this one. I do need this one. So that's going to output light oil here. And then we can also hook that up to a light oil output here. So I don't need this anymore. So this light oil can all get connected here, like this-ish, sort of. You're still with me, yeah? You're still with me, folks. The heavy oil is coming down here. Once this is done, this will be fully backed up, and all the heavy oil can come down here, and then it will be used as an input for these machines. Again, I'm not going to need this one. Then the light oil that it outputs comes here, where it's joining the light oil output from their advanced oil cracking, and so it's all going here. So then this will be all of my light oil. I don't need this. Actually, I'm going to change this slightly, because my light oil is going to go here. 1, 2, 3. I don't have enough space. It's not going to go there. I lied. It is going to go up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, God, why have I put this all so close together? It's fine. It's fine. It's the starter base. It's the starter base. Right. So these are all light oil cracking to petroleum gas. So these can all be the same. And again, these need light oil and water. Right. So my light oil is actually going to come in here like this. So I'll use this space here with this pump to go there like that. Alright, and then my light oil can come in here. This is a mess, isn't it? With my water here like this. This is also why it's important to not hook this kind of design up until you're definitely finished. Because now I don't think this lubrication storage tank is going to go there very well. I don't even think this is a good idea here. Like, this could easily, to be honest with you, just like go up here. I think it will have to. No, it's fine. It's fine. We'll get it to work in the smallest space possible for just for fun. Ugh, I should do these bits first, because these bits are the easiest bits to do by eye. Not going to need that top one. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, that's all that hooked up. Let me go and do the water just before I forget. So we've got a line of water there and another one there. So one output there, another one there. A single pump will be more than enough water. More than enough. Something like 12,000 per second. Not 1,200, 12,000 is a huge amount. So then now all of my petroleum is finally here, along with the initial set of petroleum that came out there like that. Don't like this, ugly. Let's put it there like that. It's not much better, to be fair. There, that makes a touch more sense. It's kind of annoying, but acceptable. And then one final pump here to re-hook it back up to the original petroleum spot there. Logistics robots done. Do you need low density structures for any robotic stuff at this point? Flying robot frames? No. And the actual construction robots themselves just need the frames and the circuits, don't they? Yeah, okay, right. Let's do personal robot ports so that we can actually have some robots once we get to that point. It's a mess. It is a total mess, but it's my mess. And it should all make sense, unless there's something horrible I've forgotten. So, let me over-explain it once more for you. Crude is coming from the train here as an input into the heavy oil, into the advanced oil processing. Heavy oil is coming out and being turned into lubrication, and then being turned into light oil, where it will join the light oil that's coming out of the advanced oil processing anyway. That should have been yellow. Light oil is coming out of advanced oil processing and joining the heavy oil processing into light oil here, and going up this line of production, where it is then being turned into petroleum, which is also joining the petroleum that is coming out of the existing advanced oil processing as well, with a little bit of storage here for some lubrication that we will need in small quantities to make electric engine units. I appreciate it's quite difficult. I do understand that. I'll just power this whole thing up. I do appreciate it is complicated. Why haven't these... Oh, because that's only connected to this. This pump needs some power. Okay, and this pump needs some power as well. Okay, last thing is to just hook the crude oil in. You should see the whole thing kick off and then probably immediately break. Hold on to your butts. Go. Heavy oil is happening. Okay, so the first few crafts are going. This pump will pump heavy oil every now and then. I didn't put a tank down for the lubricant. That's fine. In you go. Possibly should have hooked a pump up to that as well, so it pushes it all into the thing. You are not powered. That's fine. That's going. Okay. So when you're working at ratio like this, 8 to 7, with whatever you've got for this, it shouldn't back up. It should only ever back up at the petroleum side. And if the petroleum's backed up, then you're fine, right? Because you're only doing everything to make petroleum. It becomes even more of a problem later when you want light oil separately. You want some petroleum, you want some light oil. Your petroleum might be backed up, so then you're not getting any light oil out of the oil processing facility because it can't make light oil because the petroleum's backed up. This might also cause a problem with the lubricant. We don't need that much lubricant, so I'm not anticipating a problem on that. Petroleum might be full and we might run out of lubricant, but there's things we can do about that. But as I say, I'm not anticipating it being a problem. These aren't working at huge amounts yet because most of the heavy oil is going into lubrication at the moment. And that will be the same for these. These won't all be working at speed because they're not getting all of the light oil they need, because a lot of the light oil comes from processing the heavy oil in the first place. But we should be not having a problem with anything else. Don't need these. These are superfluous. And I need some lights. Need some lights. I would like some lights. Petroleum is ticking up. It was on 0 and now it's on this much. Let's see how much of an improvement this has made in our production chart, shall we? Let's do an hour. We'll look at petroleum gas. So yeah. So we were making 2,000 petroleum gas at peak production before. That was only for oil processing facilities running the basic oil processing, whereas now we're on 8 running advanced oil processing. We've gone all the way up to a potential 8.7 thousand petroleum per minute or something. Can't be that high. Although it might be. Yeah, no, it is. It's almost, it can be, yeah, it's got a curve on it, obviously, because the production is not constant. It takes 20 seconds, whatever it is, to do one cycle, so it's not, well, it's 5 seconds. It's not as high as I thought, but still. And then, so that's going to cause this to back up quite quickly. We're already on 7,000, so this is going to back up, which is going to stop any more lubricant being produced. But we've got 6,000 lubricant. We only need 1 engine unit. We only need 15 lubricant per engine unit. And 1 engine unit is going to be the equivalent of 1 robot. And we're not going to need a huge amount of robots to begin with. So we're there. We've got advanced oil processing done. A lot of things going on here. It's caused a bit of a spike in the power supply. You can see here the production has had to go up here when we turned it all on, and then obviously our plastic kicked off again, which caused our assembly machines making advanced circuits to kick off again. I should get some research going because I have quite a lot of blue science backed up here. Braking force. Trains can slow down faster, allowing them to stay at higher speeds for longer. I can't see how that's particularly useful for us right now, but I will need to research everything anyway. Worker robot size. Okay, I don't know how long I've been recording for, but I feel like it's probably enough, because once again I forgot to set a time ago. But I think that we're good. So that was advanced oil processing. Basic advanced oil processing. Like, I did think about talking about the circuit network there for a moment, didn't I? And decided against it. But I'll definitely need to talk about that. You can basically, as a little sneak peek, you can use the circuit network to tell a pump to not work. So you can say don't actually pump if this condition isn't fulfilled, and you can use that to stop backlogs or to prioritize light oil production happening first. You know, send all the light oil out to be made into rocket fuel before you start thinking about making petroleum gas, etc. Obviously it's not foolproof because these make petroleum gas anyway, so you do need some balance there. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, when we start having to make rocket fuel at quantity, at absurd quantity. Thank you so much for watching. What's today's episode? This will be Monday's episode. It's today's Sunday for me, so it won't be long until this goes live. The next episode will be Thursday. So if you've got any questions about this, I will endeavour to not record until Tuesday, Wednesday time, so that if you have any questions about what I've gone through today, you feel free to ask them and I will cover them in the next video. Other than that, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.